أهلا وسهلا متابعينا الكرام. تحتفل الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية بمرور 250 عاما على الاستقلال، وبهذه المناسبة نستضيف اليوم سفيرة الولايات المتحدة لدى مملكة البحرين، السيدة ستيفاني هالت. Your Excellency, welcome and we are delighted to have you with us today.
Thank you so much. Thank you to you and to Alwatan for having me.
Thanks a lot. So it's been 250 years since American independence. It's a great period of time, and we can really relate because it's a time frame fairly close to Bahrain's own independence 242 years ago as an Arab nation led by Sheikh Ahmed al Fatih. So, what does this occasion mean to the American people, and how does it reflect on the relationships between the US and Bahrain?
Well, thank you for the question. The 4th of July every year is an opportunity for all of us Americans to be able to recommit to the principles that our founding fathers established our country on 250 years ago, as you mentioned. And those are the values of freedom, individuality, the principles of freedom of religion and speech, things that Americans hold dear. And then certainly on a more personal level, it's a time to bring come together as communities, and I'm glad to be able to do that here in Bahrain with our embassy community and with Americans who also call Bahrain home. In terms of its relationship to Bahrain, certainly the values that we have as Americans are those that are also shared by many of our partners and allies around the world, including Bahrain, who is we count among the most important and strategic of friends anywhere in the world.
If you would tell us more about your personal experience here in Bahrain, what are the most memorable impressions since you arrived in Bahrain?
So I arrived here as ambassador in January, but this is a return to Bahrain for me. I had the honor of working here and representing my country previously and left about 10 years ago. And so my impressions were on a personal level that I was returning to a home that I have known before and know again. And really that's about the people of Bahrain and friends that I've had for now over 10 years who welcomed me back, and then certainly people that I had not met who have also warmly welcomed me across my engagements in this beautiful country of yours. And then, especially over 10 years, just how much things have grown here in just a short amount of time. The growth and vibrancy of the country. One of my first opportunities when I got here was to experience Hawa al Manama, and it was incredible to see and to experience and celebrate the culture of Bahrain and of Manama in particular. That was a really great way to start my time here.
So that leads me to a related question because Bahrain is a home to a population of diverse ethnicities, religions, people from different cultural backgrounds. So, how did you view this cultural diversity and the coexistence among the people here in Bahrain, the different parts of the society?
Well, certainly Bahrain has always been known as a country that has an incredible um, history and focus on tolerance, led by, of course, His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa. And under his leadership, there's a vibrancy of different cultures and religions that come together seamlessly here. And some of my favorite memories of being a Bahrain previously and then even now are participating in religious expressions, whether that's during Eid or Christmas or Diwali or even Hanukkah here on the island. And I think that's a great reflection of how all residents of Bahrain, citizens and temporary residents like myself, view this country and it's being a shining example of tolerance in the region.
And what about the similarities that you observe between the American society, the American people, and the Bahraini people, as you saw many of the aspects here in our community?
Certainly, I think things that are very common between the United States and Bahrain are a focus on family, on faith, on community. And that's something that is at the at the heart of the fabric of both of our societies. And the in terms of the focus on community, certainly there are periods of the year where you see that expressed. Ramadan is a great example of that, and periods like Eid. But I find it every day here, and it's something that feels very familiar with the culture in the United States across the U.S., regardless of where you're from. And that sense of community is something that I know I have embraced, and that my family has as well.
And we would love to learn more about the American culture. So beyond Hollywood, we know Hollywood. It's a reflection on the different communities around the globe. It's let's say its impact on the communities. What's beyond that? The arts, the culture, the history, the literature, even the different types of dishes, the difference between them, between each state in the US. Tell us more about it. We want to know more about it.
Well, I appreciate the question because certainly I hope people get to know the United States beyond Hollywood, though Hollywood is pretty great, and so much great parts of US culture come out of Hollywood. But certainly you mentioned many aspects of our culture that we're proud to share with Bahrain, including through US Embassy sponsored programs and exchanges to bring Bahrainis and Americans together. But part of that is expression of our food, of cuisine. And one of the cool things about the United States is the different regions have very different food expressions. And so I think that's a great way to understand the United States is through different food, whether it's from the South or great Texas barbecue or a different cuisine that you'll get on the West Coast of the United States. New York, of course, is known for so much of a food culture as well. But beyond that, literature, as you mentioned, the United States has, like Bahrain, has an incredible history of producing some prolific writers that both historically and then in our 250-year history as the United States, but even today are writing novels that are captured, including through Hollywood and through productions of turning their literature into popular culture that in some ways is even easier to express and share with the rest of the world, including some that I've seen right here with Arabic subtitles or the like. That's been really nice to see.
And we want to talk about let's say, the studying field, the cultural, or let's say the cultural exchange field, because it's related to the, let's say, cultural aspects of the United States. So there are a lot of cultural exchange opportunities between Bahrain and the United States. But if there is a young Bahraini, maybe he came to you and asked you, why the US? Why should I choose the US to study or to have a cultural exchange program? Why not somewhere else? What would be your response?
So you mentioned our people to people ties, and one of the best expressions of that is through educational opportunities and our educational exchanges, as you mentioned. And I think what separates the United States is that there's no competition globally with the number and diversity of programs and institutions we have with over 4,000 higher US education institutions. There is nothing that a Bahraini can't find in the United States for what they're interested in studying and exploring as a career in the United States. So I would encourage anybody to take a look at the institutions. Our educationusa.gov website is a great opportunity to explore more opportunities to study in the United States. And we're very proud to every year welcome Bahrainis who study at higher education universities in the United States and institutions at the undergraduate, graduate level, and postdoctorate level.
Now, that's a very huge competitive advantage in regards of studying and cultural exchange. Let's talk about the diversity in the tourism field. So, what are the main destinations that a tourist can visit in the United States?
Well, certainly everybody knows about New York, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Miami, where I'm from. But I would encourage people to look beyond these major cities and major destinations to see the diversity that we have to offer across the United States in small towns, at our incredible national parks. which have so much to offer in the way of natural beauty. And as I mentioned previously, great cuisine across the country that is worth stopping in. I think whether you're looking at exploring the Northeast, the far Northeast, like in Maine, for example, all the way down to Texas, the Texas Plains, the Pacific Northwest is also a really special and unique geography. And of course, we have places like Hawaii, which are a little further away, but also very special and worth exploring. So I would say to anybody, um, don't stick just with the big cities, which are incredible, but explore outside of them a little bit. And one thing that has been incredible about the FIFA World Cup being hosted in the United States, Canada, and Mexico is that I think it's given people the opportunity to see different cities and to be able to explore more of the United States, which we welcome and are glad to see.
Now, I have a question that many people are eager to know its answer. Many people carry, let's say, preconceptions about the Gulf region and
Mm,
its people before even visiting the region. So, what image did you have in mind before you arrived, and did did, did you change your view
mm.
after your arrival back in 2013, as you mentioned?
Well, thanks for the question. You know, it's the preconceptions that people have about places that they haven't visited. I think is an interesting question. I've spent almost my entire career in the Gulf region, but I will say I think that for me, and then even family and friends who have had the wonderful opportunity to visit me wherever I've served, I think they have the impression they think first of kind of the glimmering skyline of Gulf countries, but I think what they come to learn, upon visiting Bahrain is the warmth, the connection with people, the rich culture, the rich ancient history, including especially in a place like Bahrain, where there is a very deep history that goes back um, thousands of years. And in the case of Bahrain, the preservation and recognition and celebration of that human history, not just Bahraini history, human history that we find here, is really special and something worth highlighting to people as one of many reasons to visit Bahrain and the Gulf more broadly.
That's amazing. Now, let's switch to the some let's say some fun
Okay,
questions.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Sure.
So, what's your favorite Bahraini dish, and what's
Uh,
your American dish? Let's say
well,
American traditional dish.
yes. Well, so for Bahrain, it's easy. There's a lot of food in Bahrain that I love, and it's one of the things I've loved coming back to explore again after being gone for 10 years. But muhammar and
Oh,
sapi fish.
okay.
And I had the opportunity to be able to
That's
uh
my favorite as well.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I had the opportunity before Ramadan to learn how to cook safi, and so I tried it a few times. So definitely my favorite. It's delicious and a joy to
Our
actually prep.
cameraman is he likes Safi as well, so
Okay.
it's his favorite
Okay.
as well.
All right.
So he
Excellent.
might try it.
Good. Well, I'll look forward to maybe we can try it
Yeah.
together. As far as American cuisine, I think nothing beats traditional American barbecue, and I mean barbecue in the sense of, a really good brisket that's been cooking all day with, the great sides that whether it's macaroni and cheese, accompanying it's so great, especially, that traditional Southern Texas barbecue is something that is absolutely my favorite.
Is there a certain, or let's say, is there a specific Bahraini tradition that you think every American should experience at least
Mm.
once?
That's an easy one for me to answer because I think it centers around Ramadan, and there is the expression of faith that is easily observable here in Bahrain during the holy month of Ramadan, but it also includes certainly the community that I was referring to before, and the welcoming environment that people have as families, as broader communities, whether that's through iftars, ghabkas, and the really special tradition of going around to different majalis every evening, which is always the highlight of my year here and was again this year.
Your Excellency, if you had the chance to take one American president uh, on a tour here in Bahrain, who would you pick and where would you take them? It can be any American president,
Okay.
starting from George Washington.
Sure. Well, I would love to bring them all, but let's focus on you're asking me to choose one. Certainly President Trump. I would love to have President Trump come here and show him the beauty of Bahrain, certainly the beautiful skyline, the sea view, the vistas of the beautiful seas that surround your country. But also to take him to the other highlights that whether it's the tree of life, being able to see the Bahrain fort and the Bahrain Museum and to be able to see the Dilmun burial mounds. These are all things that are really special in Bahrain, and I have no doubt that President Trump, if he had the time, would love to be able to spend some time here and explore all of it. But I will add another president, if I may. The late President Nixon, I would also want to bring here because he was the president in 1971 who established our formal diplomatic ties with the Kingdom of Bahrain. And I would love to, 55 years later, be able to show him the fruits of that formal relationship.
My last question, Your Excellency. Describe Bahrain in 3 words.
3 words. Okay. I think the first would be welcoming, the second would be vibrant, and the third would be resilient.
Your Excellency, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. And I appreciate this opportunity to sit down with you
It's
today.
a great pleasure. متابعينا الكرام، شكرا لكم على حسن المتابعة وإلى اللقاء.